Welcome to chemistry classes. This is A.B. Krishna. Today we are going to start and let me explain with examples crystal field theory. In shortcut we call it as CFT. The full form of crystal field CFT is crystal field theory. It is most important theory and a complicated theory for most of the students to understand this theory. The main complication is how to fill up the electrons after splitting up the d orbital. That is very important to everybody to understand the concept. So today I am going to explain how the d orbital will split and what is the procedure to fill the electrons and what are the crystal field stabilization energy. All these things let me discuss. So first, it is a theory have been evolved by the failures in valence bond theory. Valence bond theory explains hybridization, geometry and etc. But crystal field theory mainly explains about the structure, the color, magnetic properties and most of the properties of the complexes can be explained by crystal field theory. It is an advanced theory. In coordination compounds, there is no theory in our syllabus more than crystal field theory. So, let me discuss the main postulates of this theory. The main fundamental concept of this theory is the attraction between, first in the crystal field theory, first you have to understand the main concept is the attraction or we can say interaction. The interaction between central metal ion and ligands is purely electrostatic. Means what? There is an attractive electrostatic attraction is present between ligands and central metal ion. Next, it is important, it is purely electrostatic. Whereas in case of valence bond theory, we have an orbitals and hybridizations, geometry like that. But here, not that type of things here. And one more important thing is, according to this theory, there is no interaction. There is no interaction between metal ion orbitals and ligand orbitals. So these are the main two concepts and introductory points you should know to understand the crystal field theory. The first concept is, it is just introduction. I have not entered into the crystal field theory. The first concept is the interaction between central metal and ligand is purely electrostatic. And second thing is, there is no interaction between metal orbitals and ligand orbitals. So this is, let's go for the postulates of this theory. The first postulate is postulates. Let me discuss about postulates of this theory. In that, the first postulate is the ligands are treated as assumed as ligands are assumed as point charges. This is the first thing. Usually negative point charges. Reason, the central metal ion contains positive charge. Second one, the central metal ion is in a positive charge. Because metals easily lose electrons, always gets positive charge. This positive charge equal to its oxidation state. Its oxidation state means the charge of the metal ion is equal to oxidation state. Suppose if chromium is there, +3. So its oxidation state is +3. The positive charge on the chromium is 3. So like that the positive charge will be there. And ligands assumed as point charges means negative charge also we can say. Negative charge. This is second postulate. The third postulate in the crystal field theory is the arrangement of ligands. Arrangements of the ligands around the central metal. Arrangement of ligands around central metal ion. Central metal ion causes splitting of d orbital. Splitting of d orbital because of repulsions, because of different energies in d orbitals. Splitting of d orbitals. Why they are splitting? How they are splitting? Let me discuss now. First thing, at what condition the splitting of d orbitals will be takes place means when the ligands are present arranged around the central metal ion, then d orbital splitting takes place. So why the d orbitals are splitting? When the ligands are coming near to the central metal ion. Let me see now. So I am closing this, I am removing this. So let me discuss the reason why d orbital is splitting when ligands are approached. To understand that thing, so let me see first the d orbitals. D orbitals. Let me discuss about first. Let me think about. Let me know about d orbitals. You know, d orbitals are 5. They are dxy, dyz, dzx, dx square minus y square, dz square. These are the 5 d orbitals. These 3 d orbitals are called T2g orbitals. Reason, the orientation of these orbitals along the axis, if you see the structure orientation, suppose if it is x-axis, it is y-axis, dxy orbitals 4 lobes will orient between the axis like this. The present means 45 degrees to axis. Dxy, same thing in case of this is the dxy. If you take dyz, here it should be z or y, or here z or y. Dzx means at the place of y we can write z. So in 3 orbitals will be oriented between the axis like this. So therefore they are called T2g. And these 2 orbitals are called Eg orbitals. Eg orbitals. Why they are giving different name means, if you see the orientation of these orbitals, suppose if it is x-axis and it is y-axis, the 4 lobes of dx square minus y square orbital will orient like this. The orientation of these 5 d orbitals, these 3 orbitals orientation is one type like this. These two d orbitals orientation is along the axis like this. Due to this orientation, when ligands approaching the central metal ion, definitely the energy difference will be formed between this. So let me see. This is the d orbitals and the splitting. How the splitting will be takes place. So first, there are so many octahedral complexes. The splitting is different. Tetrahedral complexes. The splitting is different. Square planar complexes. Splitting is different. In that, first I am explaining splitting of d orbitals in octahedral complexes. Splitting of d orbitals in octahedral complexes. Let me see this one. How the splitting takes place in octahedral complexes. Let me discuss. Okay. First, octahedral complexes will be formed by coordination number 6. When coordination number is 6, means what? 6 ligands. 6 ligands approach central metal ion. So when 6 ligands approach central metal ion, then coordination number becomes 6. Then the shape of the complex becomes is octahedral. So in these octahedral complexes, these 6 ligands approach the central metal ion. 6 ligands in octahedral complexes, 6 ligands approach central metal ion through x comma y comma z and minus x comma minus y comma minus z axis. You know what is minus x more or less. Suppose in this x axis, if it is plus x, definitely it becomes what? Minus x. So one orbital approach along this x axis, second orbital minus axis, third orbital plus y, fourth orbital minus y, fifth orbital plus z, sixth orbital minus z. Like that, 6 ligands approach the central metal ion through x, y, z as well as minus x, minus y, minus z axis. So when these ligands approaching the central metal ion along these axes, these orbitals are present along the axis. These are present along the axis. That's why we are saying them as easy orbitals. These will be affected more than this because these 3 orbitals present between the axes. So when 6 ligands approach the metal along these axes, easy orbitals will be affected more than T2G orbitals. Due to this affection, the splitting takes place like this. Let me see the diagram of splitting of d orbital in octahedral complexes. First, let me see 5 d orbitals. Let us write small. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the d orbitals of central metal ion in free state. Free state means there is no ligand, there is no complex, just only metal is there. So 5 d orbitals have same energy. Same energy means what? We can say them as what? Degenerate orbitals. 5 d orbitals contain same energy when central metal ion is in free state. when the ligands approach, first ligands approach the metal symmetrically, so then energy of orbital increases. So 5d orbitals contains same energy when ligands approaching the metal symmetrically. These are the 5d orbitals. Energy it is energy order. It is energy order. So when ligands approaching central metal symmetrically, this is d orbitals of central metal ion when ligands, six ligands approaching, let me write here, approach symmetrically. When six ligands approaching symmetrically the central metal ion, 5 d orbitals contain same energy, but energy will be more as compared to free state. The energy of d orbitals in the central metal ion is more. Here also they are degenerate orbitals. In this case also they are degenerate, but when they are coming close to the metal, definitely they cannot be symmetrical. They have to approach the metal in a particular order. So in octahedral complexes, that approach takes place along, I told already, x, y, z, minus x, minus y, minus z, 6. So when these, along these axes, when the d ligands are approaching, giving electron pairs, then d orbitals will split into two groups like this. This is one group, this is another group. And if we say this is the barycenter, here two orbitals, that is one is dx square minus y square, another one is dz square. Eg orbitals we are calling it as. Eg orbitals will split into higher energy because they are affecting more, because ligands are close to these orbitals. So the energy becomes more and they split into higher energy group. And here three orbitals. What are the three orbitals? dxy, dyz, dzx, like this, three orbitals. And the energy difference between these two is, we can call as delta O. In some books it is there as 10 dq decoherence, dq, delta O for octahedral. Delta means energy difference between them, and this is called barycenter. Barycenter means expected barycenter, expected energy in symmetrical approach of ligands. And if you think what can we say, the energy difference between these two from the barycenter to Eg orbitals will be 0.6 delta O, means 0.6 of energy will be increased from barycenter. The energy of these two orbitals increases by 0.6 of delta O. And from here to here, the energy difference is 0.4 delta O, or we can say it as 6 dq, we can say it as 4 dq. This energy increases by 0.6 amount of octahedral barycenter, and energy decreases for these three orbitals, that is equal to 0.4 of delta O. So this is splitting takes place in octahedral complexes. Like this, d orbital splitting takes place in octahedral complexes when 6 ligands approach the central metal ion along x-axis, y-axis, z-axis. First 3, minus x, minus y, minus z means from opposite to our x. Suppose this is x-axis. This side we call it as plus x. This side we call it as minus x. So like this it will take place. So this is d orbital splitting in octahedral complexes. I think everybody got some idea how d orbitals are splitting. Once again I am saying, in free state, if the central metal ion exists in free state, all 5 d orbitals contain same energy and energy of that d orbitals is least as compared to other things. When ligands approach the central metal ion symmetrically, because from certain distance is there. Suppose myself is central metal ion, the ligands are coming close to me. First they surround the central metal ion symmetrically. When they are approaching symmetrically, 5 d orbitals contain same energy, we can call them as degenerate, but energy increases. And then when 6 ligands are coming close to the central metal ion, compulsory they have to come along axis. So those orbitals present along the axis, orienting along the axis, they will be get more affected by the repulsion than other orbitals. So due to that affection, 5 d orbitals split into 2 groups. The first group, those orbitals present along the axis will be affected more and possess more energy, which is equal to 0.6 delta O, and remaining orbitals energy decreased by 0.4 delta O from the barycenter. Okay. Like this d orbital splitting takes place. Next, let me discuss the significance of delta O. What is delta O? Shall I remove? Right. Okay. Next, what is delta O and what is the CFSE? All these things let us see in octahedral complexes. How the splitting takes place in octahedral complexes. What is CFSE? Let us see. Significance of delta O. That is nothing but CFSE, crystal field splitting energy. CFSE. See, after d orbital splitting, which orbital contains least energy? dxy, dyz, dzx. These 3 orbitals contains least energy. The electrons coming from the ligands first enter into these orbitals. So for d1, the electrons in d orbital will enter into like this. They possess least energy. Suppose if d1 configuration is there for central metal ion, that d1, d2, d3, these 3 electrons enter to T2g orbitals. How means? Suppose this dxy, dyz, dzx, 1 electron here like this. In case of this, 2 electrons like this. In case of this, 3 electrons like this. These 3 orbitals are degenerate. So d1, d2, d3 will take place like this. Whether the ligand is strong or weak. One more thing you should know. The ligands are 2 types based on their strength. It was there in a crystal field, that is based on their strength. I am writing theory. Based on their strength, ligands 2 types. The strength of ligands already was there in previous videos. You can check that, or you know, most of the students know what is strong ligand, what is weak ligand. Once again I am saying, the ligands are 2 types. One is strong field ligands, another one is weak field ligands. What is strong field ligands, what is weak field ligand already most of the students know. If you don't know, just see here. Ligands nothing but Lewis bases. Lewis bases. Lewis base means what? Electron pair donor. If electron pair donating easily, they are called strong field ligand, strong Lewis base. If the electron pair cannot donate easily, they are called weak field ligands. These donate electron pair easily. Electron pair easily. They easily donates electron pair. Reason, its structure, so many things are there. Weak field ligand means cannot donate electron pair easily. Cannot donate electron pair easily. So, if they are donating electron pair easily, we call it as strong field ligands. If they are cannot donate electron pair easily, they are called weak field ligands. If strong field ligands approaching the central metal ion, the splitting is more. Means suppose this is a barycenter. If strong field ligand is there, dxy, dyz, that is Eg orbitals, T2g orbitals will split more as compared to weak field ligands. When weak field ligands are approaching the central metal ion, the d orbital splitting is less. Splitting takes place, no doubt at all in that, but less. So like this it will be there. So here we can write that point. If strong field ligands are present, the splitting is more. Splitting is more. Means what? Delta O is more. Delta O is more. When weak field ligand is there, the splitting is less. That is delta O is less. Delta O is less. So, whether the strong field ligand or weak field ligand is there, for D1, D2, D3, same type of arrangement will be there. Same type of arrangement will be there. So, for this D1, we can write as T2G1. For D2, we can write configuration as T2G2. For D3, we can write configuration as T2G3. Like this, we can write the configuration whether strong field ligand or weak field ligand. Strong field ligand or weak field ligands approaching the central metal ion. Anyone, same configuration. This is one significance. Number one significance, and you should know about the ligands. Second significance is D4 and D5. D4 and D5. For this configuration, what we have to do? D4, D5. Here, we should know about P. P means what? Pairing energy. We should know about this one. At this case only we should know. We require P. In this condition, it doesn't require P. P means what? Pairing energy. For D4, D5 only we require pairing energy. Pairing energy means what? Yes, anybody? Pairing energy means? Yes, pairing energy means what? I'm giving some time. Pairing energy means what? Pairing energy means energy released when electrons are paired. That is pairing energy. So, pairing energy. In that case, here we should be very careful. If delta O greater than P, delta O greater than P, pairing energy means what? Energy required, energy required for pairing of electrons. energy required for electron pairing or pairing of electrons, pairing energy. That is important in case of D4, D5. So if delta O greater than P, this will be there if weak field ligands approach. This will happen when weak field ligands approach, delta O becomes greater than P. If weak field ligands are approaching, we can say that complex as high spin complex. When weak field ligands approaching the central metal ion in octahedral complexes, we call them as high spin complexes. And in that cases, delta O always greater than P. Already I told you delta O means what? CFSE. Crystal field stabilization energy. By the splitting, the orbitals are stabilizing. So, crystal field stabilization energy will be greater than P in case of weak field ligands. When weak field ligands are present, we call that complexes as high spin complexes. In this case, in case of D4, the configuration becomes like this: T2G3 EG1. EG1. When weak field ligands are there. I'm sorry. Wrong. If delta O less than P, I'm sorry, I got a mistake. If delta O less than P, weak field ligands approaching high spin complexes, then D4 means T2G3 EG1. Delta O less than P, just a mistake here. So delta O less than P, if it is there, D4 T2G. D4 configuration. And for D5, the configuration becomes T2G3 EG2. Means electrons first enter into each orbital 1, 1, 1. Reason splitting is very small. The fourth electron can easily go for higher energy Eg orbitals. So for D4 it will be T2G3 EG1 EZ1, and for D5 configuration T2G3 EG2 if delta O less than P. That will happen if weak field ligands approach the central metal ion and we get high spin complexes. P means what? Pairing energy. This is A in case of second. Next, B. In the second concept only, let me see about B. B. If strong field ligands approach, we get the complexes, that is low spin complexes. If strong field ligands approach, we get low spin complexes. In that low spin complexes, delta O becomes greater than P. Crystal field stabilization energy is more than energy released by the stabilization is more than energy required for pairing. Energy released by the stabilization is more than energy required for pairing. So automatically pairing takes place. In this case, energy released by the stabilization splitting is less than pairing. Pairing require more energy, but that energy is not possible from this delta O. But it is not possible by the splitting. So electrons are not pairing. They are going one electron in each orbital. But if the strong field ligands are present, means strong ligands are approaching, they form the low spin complexes, then delta O becomes P. So energy released by the stabilization becomes more than energy required for pairing. In that case, D4 configuration becomes T2G4 EG0, no electron in each orbital, and for D5 T2G5 EG0. So like this configuration will be appear in case of strong field ligands for D4 D5. And C for D6. Let me take it as third option. For D6, in this case also same thing. A, if weak field ligands are present, definitely delta O becomes less than P. It is high spin complex. I am writing it as shortcut. HSC means high spin complex. Delta O becomes less than C. So for D6, the configuration becomes T2G6 EG0. Peak field ligand, T2G4 EG2 if weak field ligands are there. 4 plus 2. For D6, it means one electron will goes to pairing if it is there. And if B, in this case B, if strong field ligand is present, strong field ligands will be from low spin complex. In this case, delta O becomes greater than P. Then for D6, it will be T2G6 EG0. Please don't confuse. Once again, I am saying P means pairing energy, means energy required for pairing of electrons. If weak field ligands approaching the central metal ion, they form high spin complexes. For them, delta O becomes less than P. For D4 configuration, it will be like this. For D5, it will be like this. 1 electron intercenter. And if strong field ligands are approaching for D4 and D5, delta O becomes greater than P. And D4 configuration is this. D5 configuration is this. Pairing takes place. And for D6, if weak field ligands are there, once again I am saying they are high spin complexes, delta O less than P, and the configuration is like this. And if strong field ligands are there, this is the configuration. No electron in EG. This is D6. After that, if you see D7, for D7, can you write? Oh, that is third point. I am writing here fourth one. The fourth one for D7 configuration. D7, D8, D7, D8. Let me write for these two. In that A, once again, weak field ligands, they form high spin complexes, and for them delta O less than P, weak field ligand. Na? So then 7 electrons. For D7, it will be T2G EG. Let me write first. EG2 will be there. T2G5. 2 electrons will be paired up. And for D8, T2G6 EG2. T2G6 EG2 if weak field ligands are present. And weak field ligands are present. If strong field ligands are present, B I am writing. Strong field ligands are present. They form low spin complexes. In this case, delta O greater than P. And for D7, it will be T2G6 EG1. T2G6 EG1. For D8, it will be T2G6 EG2 because already 6 electrons filled by totally T2 orbitals filled by 6 electrons. One more extra electron is there that is going to higher energy after pairing. So here after pairing 2 more electrons are remain. The 2 more electrons goes to each orbital 1 1. So like this it will be taken. In case of strong field ligands and weak field ligands. Next D9, D10. Last D9, D10. That is fifth one. For D9, D10. How it will be there? Whether the ligands are weak or strong. For D9, the configuration becomes T2G6 EG3. 6 plus 3, 9. For D10, T2G6 EG4. This will be there for both strong field ligands or weak field ligands. If the ligands are strong field ligands or weak field ligands, this the configuration is same. Means D1, D2, D3, D9, D10, that 5 d orbitals, electronic configuration, that 5 electrons, that 5 conditions, in that 5 conditions, if configuration is D1 or D2, D3, D9, D10, whether the ligands are strong field ligands or weak field ligands, the configuration is constant. But in case of D4, D5, D6, D7, D8, D4, D5, D6, D7, D8, the configuration will be changed based on ligands. If weak field ligands are present, one type of configuration. If strong field ligands are there, another type of configuration. Example, D6 if it is there. If weak field ligands are there, they form high spin complexes. Delta O becomes less than P. Then the configuration is T2G4 EG2. One electron goes to each orbital. And extra electron, 6th electron, pair up with the T2G orbital. If the strong field ligands are there, only T2G orbitals contains electrons, no EG orbital contains electrons. So like that, configuration is different if weak field ligands or strong field ligands are present. This is significance of delta O as well as pairing energy. And next, calculation of CFSE. Next concept is calculation of CFSE for octahedral complexes. Calculation of CFSE for octahedral complexes. Last topic, just 5 minutes will be completed in 5 minutes. It's important. Question directly will come from this point. From anywhere the question may come, but let us see. First, I am writing in table wise. It is a configuration. And next, if weak field ligand is there, what is CFSE? If strong field ligand is there, what is CFSE? Like this, let's take 5 columns table. Once again I am saying, if weak field ligands are there, what is the CFSE and what is that one? Let it come. If D1 configuration is there, the configuration becomes, in weak field ligand, the configuration becomes what? T2G1 and CFSE 0.4. So 0.4 delta O. Energy will be released because less energy will be there for that. And for D2, the configuration becomes T2G2 0.24 into 2 means what? 0.8 delta. And D3 configuration, the configuration becomes T2G3 and it will be 1.2 delta O. This is the CFSE energy values. And if strong field ligand is this, I already told you whether weak field ligand or strong field ligand for D1, D2, D3, same configuration will be there. Means same T2G1, T2G2, T2G3 will be there. Same 0.4, 0.8, 1.2 delta O will be there. Same thing will be there, it will not be changed. But for D4, it is important. If weak field ligand is there, the configuration is T2G3, EG1. And here 1.2 minus 0.6 equal to 0.6 delta O will be there because it will be released, it will be absorbed. Because 4th electron goes to EG orbitals. EG orbitals contains high energy. So they absorb the energy from barycenter. They release 1.2 delta O energy released by 3 electrons and 0.6 will be absorbed by 4th electron. The net energy will be 0.6 delta O will be there. No pairing here. And if strong field ligand is there, it becomes what? T2G4. Means it will be 1 point, total 4 electrons, 1.6 delta O will be happening. one electron will go for pairing. Here pairing takes place. So energy required for pairing now, that will be released 1.6 delta O minus P. P, why I am writing minus P? Pairing requires some energy. After that, certain energy will be there. That depends upon ligand. I am not writing that one. So it is P. Pairing takes place here. From this 1.6, some energy utilized for pairing. That's why net will be, that depends upon the P, but it will be 1.6 minus P. Next, for D5. In case of weak field ligands, the configuration becomes T2G3 Eg2. So it will be 1.2 for 3 electrons minus 1.2 for 2 electrons, total 0.0 delta O. No energy absorption, no energy release. But strong field ligands, it will be T2G5. Means it will be 5 electrons are there now, 5 fours are 2.0 delta O minus P. 4 electrons, 5 electrons now, 0.2. Next for D6, if weak field ligands are there, T2G4 Eg2. So it will be 1.6 minus 1.2, 0.4 delta O. For this it will be T2G6, means 2.4, 6 4 is 24, so 2.4 delta O minus P. That P depends upon that one. And next, depending upon P, if they given the P value, you can calculate the remaining CFSE. For D7, T2G5 Eg2, 5 4s are 20, 2.0 minus 1.2 means 0.8 delta O. For this is T2G6 Eg1, because 7th electron going to Eg orbital after filling of 3 orbitals by the pairs. Then it will be 2.4 minus 0.6 equal to 1.6 delta O. Once again minus how many pairs here? Here 1p, here 2p, here 3p, here also 3p, here also 3p. 3 pairs are there now, so 3p. Next for D8, it will be T2G, and here also pairing taking place now, so minus P, because 1 electron going to here minus P, here minus 2P, because 2 pairs are there. T2G6 Eg2, so means 6 electrons in T2G, 2.4 minus 1.2 equal to 1.2 delta O minus 3p, because 3 electrons going to be pairing. And for this T2G6 Eg2, for this 2.4 minus 1.2 equal to 1.2 delta O minus 3p. 1.2 delta O minus 3p, because 3 pairs are there, here 2 electrons are unpaired. So like this D8. And for D9, D10. For D9, D10, the CFSE value becomes D9 CFSE for weak field ligands. The configuration becomes T2G6 Eg3. And in this case, what will be the energy? T2G6 means what? 2.4 minus 1.8 equal to 1.8 means 0.6 delta O minus 4p, because 4 electrons, 4 pairs are present. And for D10, T2G6 Eg4, 2.4 minus here same 2.4 equal to 0.0 delta O minus 5p. Pairing takes place. So like this, the stabilization energy, crystal field stabilization energy can be calculated for different complexes, they based on their ligand strength. Once again I am saying D1, D2, D3. For weak field ligand same configuration, for strong field ligand same configuration. In this case also D9, D10 for weak field ligands and strong field ligands. For this is both weak field ligands or strong field ligands. Anyone is there, same configuration will be there, same crystal field stabilization energy will be there. There is no change. But from D4 to D8, if weak field ligands are there, one type of crystal field stabilization energy. If strong field ligands are there, another type of crystal field stabilization energy, including pairing energy is there. Okay. This is the class. We can easily understand octahedral splitting. If anybody has the doubts, please write the comment and let me discuss that one. If any mistake is there here, please inform to me also. I think there is no mistake, but we can't say. If any mistake is there, please suggest me where I have done mistake. So this is crystal field splitting energy in octahedral complexes. Okay, thank you.